History heals. As I searched for answers to where my peculiar people came from, I marveled at what they did, how they survived, and who they are today. It took me on a journey through slavery and Jim Crow, but I could not stop there. I explored a history unvarnished and unscented with perfumes. The truth seared my nostrils with the people I am proud of, a people I call Black Americans. They came from Africa. Their names and cultures and religions were noble and rich with their history. Proud people from centuries of knowing who they were. Steeped in generational achievement, highlighted by world-renowned contributions to civilization, culture, and wealth. A people blessed with resources and acclaim. They brought their historical being when they set foot on the soil of North America, chained or free. Their light of pride and self has never been extinguished. That light illuminated us to be a peculiar people in America. Creation of a new people, not Africans, stripped of name, identity, customs, culture, religion, denied times generations, not white or European, though inheritors of the prevailing norms, cultures, values, beliefs, and religions, but unique by forming close bonds through their interactions. They birthed an orientation to life and expression that became our own, our cultural expressions of who we are, our pride and resolve to train our children in our ways. We are a unique and peculiar people, Black Americans. Why you need to know Black American history? Because we need healing. We need to be inspired. We need to understand who we are and how we came to be. Marcus Garvey said, as we as a people realize the greatness from which we come, we would be less likely to disrespect ourselves. Yes, slavery was hard and cruel, but we did our best to thrive and survive and overcome. Yes, education was denied, but we found every opportunity to learn. Yes, slavery bound us, but we didn't give over to defeat. We sought freedom from the start. Yes, Jim Crow was a hateful time, but many overcame the system, educated our people, thrived economically, and taught our children to hope. Hate, bondage, discrimination, death, but that was not the end of the story. We need to learn about slavery, the truths, the pain, and yes, the survival, the atrocities of being owned by another human being, the system that enslaved, regardless of the degree of lifestyle harshness. Hear the voices of slaves and former slaves through the telling of their stories. Also, recognize that during slavery and Jim Crow, there rose up a wealthy Black elite during the Victorian Age. Freedom did not mean free. Learn about the Enlightenment during Reconstruction and hatefulness during Jim Crow, Black codes and convict labor, lynching in America, but also the 1900 Paris exhibition in France, where the world was introduced to the incredible achievements of Black Americans. Education for the masses. How was a Black elite and middle class formed during these times? We rose, we thrived, we excelled, we claimed full American citizenship. Explore the Harlem Renaissance, military service and political participation, astronauts, cowboys, athletes, entertainers, and the arts. business, invention, science, medicine, law. No Black achievement. A peculiar people, achieving by industry, intellect, idealism, in spite of, and a will and commitment to thrive. Debunking the lies of our lack, laziness, criminal nature, our inability to rule and administer life. Failure to inform our children of Black American achievements in every arena and success through the generations denies them a healthy respect for our history and who we are. Let them know that we did not act alone. We have always been part of this nation, our nation. From first steps on this soil, Black people have had advocates, partners, and co-workers in our quest to secure freedom and justice for all. We emphasize the failures of the American government, but we must learn about how government also supported Black American causes. There is healing in the truths from history. Revisit the American culture. We can build on the common bonds that make us a nation. As the Honorable Dr. Maya Angelou reminds us in her poem Human Family, I note the obvious differences between each sort and type, but we are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. Our America. America needs healing. We must build on our common bonds in history. We must recognize our history of partnership as part of the American legacy. Recognize our fellow warriors in the struggle. Understand how we learned to hate. Understand systemic racism. Understand social stratification. Social class is the natural order in human society. Bias is part of human nature. But institutional racism promotes justifications for selfish outcomes using hate and discrimination against others to achieve them. Understand the history of bias and stereotypes and how the media has been used to promote them. Recognize the bias within. But there is good news. Highlight the wins. America elected a Black man with an African name to 2 terms as President of the United States. The tide is turning on white nationalism. People are being fired, fined, and removed as consequences of expressions of racial bias. Decades-old race-related crimes are being reopened and convictions sought. People are unafraid to take a stand or a knee for justice. And we continue to demand that hate be exposed in historic and recent discrimination and identify the costs associated with them. Today, America is a place Africans seek to claim the American dream. The cost is too great to deny access to knowledge that can heal and restore hope through history.